Land is one of the most lucrative businesses in Uganda. Before you acquire land, there are the things that you need to put in your mind before you let your money out. Today, we talk about acquiring land wiser.
My name is Pamizo Dennis. I'm an accountant by profession. I have had to involve myself in real estate business, which is quite challenging because it involves a lot of due diligence search before you deal with someone, most especially if you are to buy a plot. And around Uganda, where there is a lot of buffering. So one time, while involved in the business, I dealt with my brokers and all that. We looked at this piece of land. The land was good, and we opted to follow it up and did the search. Everything was fine. How did we know that actually the person we were dealing with was a real mufere? So we moved on, made the purchase, but after making the purchase, we realized that actually this guy was not the rightful owner of the land. We had done all we could do, including asking the village local council chairpersons. But unfortunately, these guys, the local council, for them all they were interested in was their stipend, which we gave them, and they endorsed everything without ascertaining the rightful owner of the piece of the land. So after we had done the payments and all that, here comes in someone who was claiming to be the rightful owner. We moved into an engagement, again did further follow-ups with the lands office, only to find that the photos which were in the lands were actually in the names of the person who was claiming. And the person we had dealt with had never been that very person. We tried searching for the person, we could not get. Out of that, of course, there was a lot of frustration, to an extent that I felt like really such a business, I should never do it again. I tried looking for the gentleman. It became hard because I was searching for someone who had the money. At a certain point, the police guys actually landed onto the guy, but the guy gave them the money. They could not hold him. Before I could reach, I found they had already raised him on a police bond, and tracing him again was hard. I learned that not only should I rely on the information received from the lands office, because these quacks have gone to that level of having the real information from the lands, that even when you search, you get the same information as provided unto you. But then, what about the community leaders? I noted that going to the community leaders wasn't enough. I should have actually asked the neighbors in that very land, asked house to house, whether they know the rightful owner of that same plot. On the financial bit of it, indeed this activity grieved me, because that's the money I had saved for quite long. But I had the lesson for myself that always I should not rush to do something just because I feel I've gotten enough information. But I should always do as much as I can to ensure that I get the rightful information. Not only that, get the rightful documents, because the documents by then I had relied on was a mere driving permit. But this driving permit, I noted it was a forgery, and that was a lesson for me. And I believe to the fellow viewers, this can be a lesson that they should not get into such a dealing without doing thorough consultation and thorough due diligence. Thank you very much.
So all in all, what we need to be vigilant about is that let's not rush into this decision of buying land.
There are small things that people ignore when acquiring land, and they seem not to be important to them. For instance, identification. Are the names on the ID same names in the loans, in the agreement, sales agreement of the land, or the title, same initials? Do diligence on that.
Let's speak to Bashir Chizito from Buganda Land Board, and he gives us his expertise and what you need to know before you purchase land.
To invest in land is always a wise decision, but you need to be very careful because it is also quite a challenging task to acquire land in a proper way. One, you need to invest with the right people. It is advisable to have services of a surveyor, to have services of a legal person, a lawyer, such that you do the necessary due diligence to yourself. Before you purchase this land, you need to know who is the owner. Is this land registered or not? Is it titled or not? What kind of land do you need? What intended use do you have for this kind of land? All those questions inform you on the kind of land you need to buy and how much it will cost you. But let's imagine you already have the money saved for that particular piece of land you're interested in. What kind of things can you do, or what sort of things do you have to do to make sure that you buy the right land? One, physically visit the land. Don't buy land based on a land title paper. Ensure that you visit the land. Use a surveyor to open boundaries of that land if the land is titled, such that you know exactly the land you're talking about. It is common to be shown one piece of land and then the next moment you realize you bought a different piece of land. So open boundaries and determine the exact land you're buying. That is very important. 3, even as you're opening these boundaries, you're showing presence. It is possible there could be third-party interests. It's possible there is a Chibanja holder who is using that land and they are not part of the ownership, but they're using the land and will disturb you in the future. So as you open boundaries, ensure that you're present. Try to see who is coming around. It is possible that someone will come and tell you that the land you're trying to take or to buy actually is partly theirs because they own a Chibanja. Try to talk to any neighbors. Try to ask the right questions. If you see any crops grown there, don't assume that the person selling the land is actually the owner of those crops or garden. No. Try to talk to the LC or local authorities and the neighbors. Who owns actually any development you find in the land? That is very important to know, to determine if the land has any squatters, it has any tenants, it has any Banja persons onto it. Then the next thing, move onto the Ministry of Lands. We have zonal ministry offices all over the country. Try to do a search. Find out what the land says. The land title should read the plot number, the block number, the county, who the registered owner is, what the size is, and if there is a mortgage, if there is a caveat, if there is an easement or any third-party right, it may be registered on that land. That is very important. Use a surveyor also to visit the land office to determine if there is a planned road, there is a planned electricity way leaf, because it is possible landlords get compensated because roads are going to be constructed on their land, and then they will sell to the next person. They have earned the compensation and then sell to you, and then the next moment the roads are being excavated on your land. So use a surveyor or a physical planner to determine, is there a planned road, is there a planned electricity way leaf onto that land. That is very important. Then eventually try to ask for the IDs. Look at somebody's national ID. Does it tally with the name in the land title? All those are very important aspects to look at. Finally, I will tell you, use your gut feeling. Everything done, every point looked through, it is important to use your inner feeling. What are you feeling? If you think you're being taken for a ride, then that is probably true. If you think someone is stealing and they want to cheat you, that is probably true. Refuse the urgency of wanting to buy this land, thinking if you don't do it today, somebody is going to buy it. Yes, it's possible someone else could buy it, but again, it is possible you could throw your money to a cheating person. So whatever it takes, do the necessary diligence in the right way before you part with your money. If possible, stagger the payments. If you can pay a third and then another third after some period and another third after some period, do so. Avoid making a lump sum payment, because then you know you are spreading your risk. It's very important that for every decision you take to acquire land, do it in such a way that you're money wiser.
That's it we had for you right here on Be Money Wiser today. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. See you.